Today we're going to look at some more data, okay? The data we're going to look at today is about the share of children at primary school age who are in school. Primary school is from the ages of around 5 to 11, okay? So children from the ages of 5 to 11 who are in an official type of school. So here we have many line graphs, okay? These are called line graphs. If we look at the world graph here, at the top left, we have the line graph of the entire world. On the y-axis, we have the percentage of children, primary school children, who are in official education. And on the x-axis, we have the year. And the graph goes from 1820 up until 2024, which was last year. If you just take a brief glance over all the graphs, just a brief glance over these graphs, we can easily see that the general trend of this data is that the number of children in primary school age who are in school is increasing. That's the general trend, is that it's increasing. Across basically all countries, over the years, more and more children have started being in official primary school education. The graph of the world here shows a gradual increase in the number of kids in primary education. But the increase happened at different rates in different countries. If we take the United States, for example, in the US, children have been in primary education for more than 100 years. So by the year around 1850, approximately 1850, in the US, children have been in primary education. Although there was a strange sudden dip here in around 1960, there was a sudden dip here. I don't know what that was. In the UK, which is my country, in approximately the year 1850, we saw a sharp increase in the number of kids in primary education. You can see on the chart here that there's a really sharp increase here. There were a couple of small dips, but more or less, it's more or less 100% of children are in official primary education in the UK. Almost 100%. The graph here of China tells a slightly different story. In China, there was really no proper primary education for young children until approximately the year 1910 or so. And then since the year 1950, there has been a dramatic increase in the number of children who are in primary education. China started a lot later in this regard in comparison to the UK and the US. But today, although it looks like we don't actually have data up until the current day, the data ends in around 1990 or so, approximately. But it looks like China is following the same pattern as the UK and the US, just a little bit later. The same is true for India over here, and it looks like today in India, roughly 100% of children are in primary education. Most of the other graphs in the other countries tell more or less the same kind of story. One graph that stands out to me is this one of South Korea, because up until around 1910, there was 0% of children were in primary education in South Korea up until around 1910. But then from 1910 onwards, we saw a rapid increase in the number of children in primary education, a very rapid increase. And by the year 1950, there were already approximately, let's say, approximately 80% of children in South Korea were in primary education. So that really is a rapid increase there. In South Africa, we can see that the rise of children in primary education was a lot more gradual, right? It was a gradual rise instead of a sudden rise. It rose gradually, and today in South Africa, almost, not quite, just below 100% of young children are in primary education today. The last graph I'm going to look at is for Bangladesh, and we can see, similar to South Korea, there was basically 0% of children in Bangladesh were in primary education. They saw a relatively gradual increase over the last 120 years, but today in 2024, just under 100% of Bangladeshi children are in primary education. So we can see that the general trend worldwide is a gradual increase in the number of children who are in primary education. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you found it at least a little bit interesting, and I hope that you improved your vocabulary when dealing with charts and graphs. See you in the next one. If you want more videos like this, go to EnglishSponge.com. On the website, you can find videos from many different teachers. You can choose which level you want: A1 beginner, A2 beginner, B1 intermediate, or B2 upper intermediate. You can choose which accent you want to listen to: American, British, Australian, and also other accents. You can choose which topic you want to listen to, and you can choose which grammar point you want to focus on. The website will track your time, so you can see how many minutes you have listened to comprehensible input today, yesterday, and for the whole month. So go to EnglishSponge.com. The link is in the description of the video.